everyone. This is One Patriot Podcast back again with another video. Thank you for joining us tonight. My name is Burning Spear Patriot, and I'm joined by the beautiful Libby Lioux. How you doing tonight, Libby Lioux?
I'm doing pretty great. How are you?
I'm doing good. Good to see you again.
Good to see you.
This particular video is going to be about the incident that happened in Minneapolis, Minnesota. An unfortunate incident where a 20-year-old black man was shot and killed by the police. Now, we don't have the full details about what happened, but Libby Lioux did do a little bit of research, and she can inform us of like some of the surface details of what happened. It's still an ongoing investigation, I'm sure, and the police and law enforcement have more details than they're willing to, give to the public, but I'm sure they will in the future. We're going to talk about the reaction of the citizens, the unfortunate reaction. Mm-hmm. And we're also going to dive into an incident that happened at a college in Michigan. The college is, I can't pronounce the name, but I think it's Albion. Abilene. Yeah. Yeah, I'll look it up. But
we'll add those details into the description.
Okay. Well, I'm just gonna go ahead and let Libby Lioux explain in detail what happened as far as the incident in Minneapolis, Minnesota. She can inform us better than I can, so I'll let you go and inform the public.
Well, thank you. Like we just talked on, this is a developing story, so we unfortunately don't have full details as of yet. What we know so far is that Daunte Wright was pulled over by the police in one part of Minneapolis, and at that point the police tried to detain him and arrest him for a warrant. Mm-hmm. They released a statement about it. They didn't indicate what the warrant was for, but there is speculation that it was for some type of firearms charge. Right. Which, if that is true, is a huge factor in what occurred immediately after.
Absolutely.
So Daunte was, we know that he was shot. Mm-hmm. We know that he got back into his vehicle mm-hmm. and drove to where, I believe it's Brooklyn something. I remember the initials being BN, another part of Minneapolis.
Right.
And at that point, he apparently must have gotten out of his car because his body laid on the asphalt. Yeah. Where he passed away. Mm-hmm. That is
pretty much
the entirety of what we know concretely at this time.
Okay, so I know you mentioned to me earlier that you said his body was laying on the ground for 3 hours, or was that they couldn't find him for 3 hours, or was that?
So his body was on the ground for, again, unconfirmed, but I believe it was up to 6 hours potentially, mm-hmm. and that's why people started getting upset, which is understandable, as the mother of Daunte was grieving. She's like, please just let me get my son, get his body off the ground. I get it from a respect standpoint. The issue is that
it's a crime scene.
And because of the sensitivity that's revolved around police brutality, I'm sure that Minneapolis police wanted to make sure that all their bases were covered.
Yes, absolutely. You can't blame them for that. Yeah. I mean, that's sad, but we got a man that was obviously resisting arrest.
He was allegedly trying to get back into his car.
Right.
This isn't confirmed, but allegedly trying to get back into his car when the police shot him.
Yes, this is all allegedly. He was allegedly, I'm going to say allegedly,
Yes.
resisting arrest. What was the whole thing about him having like an air freshener or something like that?
So this is where we get into the crazy part, where we find social media just getting outraged and building up this wild narrative that's fanning the flames and provoking riots, because now we have this escalated situation in Minneapolis. But taking it back a minute, yes, all of social media is engulfed and outraged at the story that Daunte apparently was pulled over for having too many air fresheners in his car, and he was shot over the air fresheners. If you believe that,
yeah, but I mean, there are people who actually believe that cops will actually like pull you over for having too many air fresheners. Like, oh, you have too many air fresheners. Like they have this belief that the average police officer would pull over or find any excuse to pull over a black man because he has too many air fresheners. Well, imagine that. Like, that doesn't even make sense. And they will believe it, though. They will believe it. And they think that's like actually like a situation that would actually happen in reality. When, in fact, it's absurd.
It's pretty absurd, but it's very absurd. Now, here's the thing, and I'm sure people are going to get outraged at me saying this because they're like, oh, you're going to just try to justify this situation because of his past action. And it's like, I looked at his Facebook. There were videos on there of him rolling illegal substances and putting it in his mouth. Didn't actually smoke them, but putting it in his mouth. So if he did get pulled over for air fresheners, there is, and maybe if the police were familiar with him, there's reasonable reasonable cause to think like, oh, there's air fresheners, we know
this guy's probably doing drugs, or okay.
Do I think that's the reality of why he was pulled over?
Yeah.
No, I don't, but he's very publicly engaged in criminal activity.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, like,
posted it on social media.
Yes, I mean, we don't know why the police we don't know why the police initially pulled him over. But once they pulled him over, right? Because he was in his car, they pulled him over. They ran his plates, or they ran his, information, and it came back that this guy had a warrant.
So the car was allegedly his mom's. So that.
But he had to have a license, right?
Yes.
He had a license. So they ran his license.
I'm
pretty sure.
Yes.
I mean, assuming, because this is where the warrant thing comes from, right? How did they know that this guy had a warrant from? They obviously must have ran his ID, and his name popped up in the system. Oh, this guy has firearms warrants on him.
Which is going to put them on edge.
Huh?
Which is going to put them on edge.
Yes, which is going to put them on edge. Like, oh shoot, this guy's probably got firearms on him because he's, there's a warrant for his arrest due to firearms, illegal firearms. So they probably approached the car cautiously. They're probably like, okay, and they probably asked him to step out of the vehicle. We have a warrant for your arrest. And he, I don't know. I don't have all the stories, but it's just going by everything that's going on in Minneapolis right now. I find it very hard to believe that a police officer is just going to shoot a black man for having air fresheners.
That's baloney.
I find it very hard for me to believe, especially with everything that's going on, that in Minneapolis specifically, that a Minneapolis police officer, after all the scrutiny that they're being put under, these officers are probably walking on eggshells. Yeah, the Chauvin is going on. Right. These officers are probably walking on eggshells.
Yes.
So I'm pretty sure that it's, just an educated guess. I could be wrong, but this, to me, I feel like they had to have been pushed to the extreme to do this, to open fire on this kid. This kid had to do, I don't know. I could be wrong, but just given the circumstances of everything that's going on in Minnesota right now, with the Derek Chauvin case and these officers that have been under scrutiny, they've defunded the police in Minnesota. They've done, the police are the villains now.
Yeah.
So why would a police officer shoot a black kid unprovoked or unjustly? Yeah. We'll see when the details come out, but something tells me that these police officers are, we'll see. I don't know.
We'll see. But that's the whole thing, right? Mm-hmm. Is that nobody knows yet. Nobody knows the full details of the story. Mm-hmm. Apologies for dog in the background. The old man dog over there. Yeah. Anyway, we don't have the full details of the story.
No, we don't.
And people are being provoked and jumping to riot in Minneapolis based on speculation and yes, speculation.
Yeah, it's crazy because it's whenever there's it doesn't matter what the details are, it doesn't matter what the situation is. If the black man is a victim of this killing, mm-hmm. and I don't even want to say victim because we don't know if he's a victim or not. The killing could be just. But whenever a black man is killed by a law enforcement officer, everything else goes out the window. Logic goes out the window. Facts go out the window. Just anything that a rational person would come and look at the situation and be like, okay, what happened? Nobody even does that. Nobody even stops and thinks that, okay, did this guy resist arrest? Mm-hmm. Did this guy threaten the lives of police officers and other people, innocent people?
There was a female in the car. Non-life-threatening
injuries.
Injuries. Thank you. Was her life endangered?
Right.
We don't know.
Yeah.
We don't know. And this raw reaction, I understand, but I feel genuinely that these people who are so reactionary need to take a step back and look at who's been provoking these incidents.
Yeah. Now, these officers they've got to have body cams on them, right?
Yep, they have body cams.
So we're going to get to the bottom of this.
Footage.
We're going to get footage of this. Now, why? And this is what makes me really upset about this. Why not wait till the facts come out before you start rioting? Why not wait till the facts out before you start looting? And you're not helping anything. You're just hurting innocent people. What did they loot? Little Caesars?
Yeah, they looted Little Caesars, Boost Mobile, a liquor store. I'm sure there's others. There was looting happening in St. Paul. Other communities started looting.
You know what? You know who works at these places? Not rich people. Not people who are a part of the system that are oppressing you, these are not the oppressors. No. The person that's working at the cashier at Little Caesars is not your oppressor. The person that's working at a Boost Mobile is not your oppressor. No. But you're going in there and you're ruining their lives.
You're attacking your community.
Yeah.
Your base, like those that you are there to protect, you are attacking.
Yeah. Which is why I don't care which is why I don't care about any kind of backlash when I say this. These are savages that are doing this. These are 100% savages, uncivilized people. Your reaction is to go and attack an innocent person or an innocent business.
Yep.
That has nothing to do with the situation that happened. You're just angry and you just can't control your emotions. Which is why I like, look, which is why I look at this and I'm just like, yo, these people are just like children. Like, they're just like these far left people. They remind me of children, when they don't get their way, they just throw a tantrum. Or when they think they've been done wrong, they start crying and start throwing a tantrum.
Or the opposite spectrum. The kids that see an opportunity and take full advantage of the situation.
Yeah, I can see that a lot of people I can probably see that a lot of people that are writing, this is their opportunity to come up on something or come up on some goods or come up on some, a lot of these people in these riots, like I probably say the majority of them, that, did these riots and these looting, saw it as an opportunity.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. There was no other, there's no justification of looting a Little Caesars. Oh, that's just absurd, and no one will ever convince me otherwise.
Yeah, I don't know.
Not going to happen.
What are you trying to get from Little Caesars? Some tomato sauce, some pizza dough?
Some mozzarella sticks?
Some mozzarella sticks, some cheese?
Some ranch dressing.
Dang.
Yeah, but then you look at, okay, so there are people there who are genuinely outraged, right? They're pulling the trigger is probably a poor term.
Right, yeah.
But they're jumping the gun, they're getting outraged. They are genuinely mad and angry, and if it's justified, I get that, but they're calling for justice right now at this moment in the street. That's one thing that they were chanting is like, we want justice right now.
Yeah.
And it's like, that's lynch mob mentality.
That is lynch mob. That's like pitchfork and...
That's everything that's been fought against, like, where we've tried to
steer completely
away
mob.
from.
They are the lynch mob. They're not... They're like... It's like the roles were reversed. Back in the day when, like, they felt like... back in the day, Jim Crow era... Whenever they saw that a white woman was killed or assaulted or, by a black person or some other minority person, they reacted the same way.
Yeah. Even if it wasn't a minority person, they would quickly blame
before
the
facts.
Yep.
Before the facts. How is this any different?
It's not, right? Sorry, go ahead.
It's no different.
No.
Because same thing. Black person supposedly have been done wrong or assaulted or killed unjustly, according to them. The mob comes out. It's the same thing that they used to do when they felt like a white woman was, back in the day in Jim Crow era, if a white woman was killed, hurt, or raped, supposedly by a minority perpetrator, they would get, the community would come together and there's no difference.
It's the exact same thought.
Yeah.
It's the exact same
I don't understand how
they're spray painting, kill KKK cops all K, which grammatically drives me nuts. Anyway, I digress. You're literally calling for the execution of police officers with no actual facts presented to you.
Yeah, it's not civilized. It's like, this is a civilization. We have civilized people. We have rules. We have laws. We have a system that we are supposed to go through. The system is definitely not perfect, but is the best system in the world, probably. So we need to take a step back and look at ourselves, look at our communities, and realize or understand that this is not what should be happening.
Yep.
You don't go out and rob and kill and loot and steal and all kinds of stuff when you don't have the facts. You don't even have the facts. You shouldn't be doing that anyway.
Right. I'm all for protests. If you want to protest,
I'm talking about protests. Cool. Fine. I'm talking about the rioting. I'm talking about the looting. I'm talking about the hurting innocent people and hurting innocent businesses that have nothing to do with it. That's what I'm talking about. Those people need to be held accountable. And the protesters, they're really pissing me off. They have a right to protest, but they piss me off because they don't hold their mob they don't hold them accountable.
There's no accountability whatsoever.
They think that what they're doing is justified. And that's why I want to, when people say, well, they can protest if they want. They can protest if they want, but they need to hold their people in check.
Yep.
They need to hold their people in check.
If you want to protest, that is absolutely your right. If you don't want police at your protest because you're protesting the police, then you are then responsible to stop. In my opinion, you are responsible.
You are responsible to say, this is not,
destroying everything that I am trying to do here. You are destroying any progress we are making. You are destroying.
They need to let it be known. Yeah, exactly. They need to let it be known, which is why I don't have any respect for BLM, because they didn't hold any of these people that did all that craziness accountable. They just allowed it, and they felt that it was justified. Like, oh, well, this is justified. This is reparations for what for what black people are owed. And I'm like, yo, people are dying. What are you talking about?
Well, it's because it's crap, because BLM knows they want these riots to continue, right? Because these riots are profitable for them. As long as their name is getting out there, they're making money. Mm-hmm. They're becoming, like this staple of woke society that,
it's a grift.
It's a complete grift, 1,000%.
Yeah.
We look at oh shoot, I'm faulting on her name, but the co-founder, Patricia, I believe her name is. Mm-hmm. She just bought a $1.4 million home. Yeah. She's bought 4 other properties. Yeah. It's a complete grift. They've given nothing back to the black community. Nothing of substance. Yeah. They're profiting off these riots.
Absolutely. And guess where those homes are? In a posh community that's probably 90-something% white. Yep. And I'm telling you, man, these people keep getting fooled, man. Black people keep getting fooled. Like, it's sad because black people are so easy to manipulate. They're so, I'm sorry, I say this as a black man. Black people are so easily fooled because they hang their emotions on their sleeve. They hang it's sad. And I hate to say it. And then you got these stupid white liberals that just come over, like some of them genuinely believe, this BS that this BLM crap is spewing. Yeah. And of course, they give their money to it. These white liberals, they give their money to it. These black people, they give their money to it. These corporations who have also profited off of BLM. Some of them are losing money off of BLM, but BLM has made billions of dollars just this past year? Mm-hmm. Like you said.
I don't know about billions, but definitely millions at least.
Maybe they've generated at least billions of dollars, like as far as their name,
right, yeah.
as far as their name goes, as far as, they're a brand pretty much. I saw BLM t-shirts on, well, I won't say that. I'm not going to say that. We'll just,
You've seen a lot of merch. It's
I've seen a lot of merch.
It is a brand.
Yes. I've seen a lot of merch in places that there were not supposed to be merch.
Yeah.
It would be like a place that is not supposed to be political. And I saw merch there, and it enraged me. Like, what the hell is this crap doing here? And I was like, wow. But it's crazy. The situation in Minneapolis is very unfortunate. I did want to talk about another situation that happened in Michigan, a college called, and I want to pronounce this right, I think it's called Albion College, which is a private school. This school had an incident where there was, I don't know the full details, but there was graffiti spray painted on the wall. Or was it written? I'm not sure. I apologize. I just heard about this story not too long ago. But what it said was a bunch of like racial slurs, had KKK on it, and it had, just a bunch of racist stuff written on the wall. Now, when it happened, the college just came out and was like, oh, we don't tolerate this. We're better than this. Oh, my God. We need to be about love, and we need to be about this, and we need to be about that, and we will not tolerate racism. And they did this whole big investigation. They'd taken all these resources, police officers, local law enforcement, school police officers, law enforcement. They did this whole big investigation. Come to find out that it was a black kid or a black student that did it. And, before this whole thing, there was like, this is all this outrage, right? Even I'm pretty sure you can go on Twitter and look at all the outrage and look at, the comments and it was just disgusting. And what really made me mad was the fact that the reaction to it by from the college. They were pretty much just saying, well, the student who did it was is temporarily suspended, and they said something along the lines that because it didn't fit the narrative. So they said something along the lines of, this opens the conversation of of racism being an issue in this country. And it's like, hold on. What are you talking about?
What?
This wasn't racism. This had nothing to do with racism. This had everything to do with a stupid kid that had a low IQ, right? Seeking attention. This has nothing to do with racism. Why are you even bringing that up?
No. Because, again, they're bringing it up because, well, one, it's if they don't bring it up, a few thoughts here. If they don't bring it up and immediately respond to the situation, similar to these, like, riots, it's like we have to have a knee-jerk reaction right now. We have to have a response instead of completely assessing the situation, taking these facts. It's like we want reactions now. We need solutions now. And it's like, it's not solving anything. Yeah.
The only statement I ever want to hear from a college or any kind of like establishment or institution or any kind of, when an incident like this happens is the situation is currently under investigation. Period.
Boom.
That's it.
That's all that needs to be said.
That's all that needs to be said. No political BS about racism or we fight racism and we still have a long way to. I don't want to hear about that. An investigation is ongoing. Period. We don't have any more comment after that. If you were professional, you would do that.
Right.
But these colleges aren't professional. What they want to do is they want to grandstand. They want to virtue signal. They want to get the whole people, the whole community riled up. And they want to be on the right side of history, right? So they're not going to talk about the race of the kid that did it. And these, in my opinion, these people that commit these Jussie Smollett type crimes, they need to be charged with hate crime.
I agree.
Yeah, they need to be charged with hate crime. I feel like they do.
I don't see why not. Like,
yeah, because you committed a crime out of hate.
yes.
Number one, you're pulling resources from law enforcement that should be channeled somewhere else, and because you wanted to do your little hoax and you wanted to get attention and you wanted to,
Yep.
you're just stupid and low IQ.
Yeah.
And it's just
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
it's just mind-boggling how, because this guy is a black man, like all of a sudden the media and everybody just shuts up about it.
Yeah. Well, it's either
It's disgusting.
So you're really stupid and you want attention, right? You want some notoriety, some fame, your moment in the spotlight.
Yeah.
Or you're so hateful against white people that you would do anything
Yeah.
to slander.
I think it's, yeah.
Or a combination, but beyond that, there's no logic for it. And I think you're accurate in calling for it to be labeled as a hate crime.
I think so. I think it should be.
And it completely, not to mention the fact that it completely undermines actual hate crimes, right?
Yeah.
Like, people don't take actual hate crimes seriously because everybody's crying wolf all
Well,
the time.
I'm telling you right now, whenever I see a hate crime, I say, my automatic
Hoax.
reaction is hoax.
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 Every time.
Every time. Until I see otherwise, I mean, because they had that thing with that one chick at that other college where, you know.
Where the janitor, I believe, came in to check on her.
Yeah.
And there was supposed to be nobody in the dorm. Nothing happened, but she called, like, I was just attacked. Like,
Yeah, it was, oh
and
my gosh.
her personal truth. I can never remember this line, but it bothers me every time. Her personal truth did not fall in line with the facts, essentially, is what journalists were saying. And it's like,
No, her lies
so she
did
lied.
not fall. Yeah, she
wanted
lied.
attention.
Personal truth. Oh, give me a break.
Yeah.
Give me a break. What the hell is a personal truth? That's just a BS. You know, this is why I hate about, like, some of these people who are, like, supposedly educated. They always come up with this BS language in order to, like, control the narrative. Like, oh, she didn't lie. That was her personal truth. No, the fucking bitch lied. Sorry. She lied.
She lied. They want to circumvent the actual story so that they can, like, still streamline it into their narrative, right? Like,
Yeah.
it's like, well, she just felt this way because this is how society makes her feel. And no, full stop.
Give me a break.
She lied. There's lies. People are there's these wild reactions that are causing people that are like, oh, I could get attention off this because look at these wild reactions that are happening so fast. I could become, you know, the next major headline. And so they're making up baloney stories. And it's hurting actual race, like, it's hurting any
like
actual attempt to ward off and stop real hate crimes real racism.
Yeah.
It's
I mean, I'm at a point where, like I said, I don't even, like, whenever I see some of this, like, stuff, like, there's one incident where this guy, he wrote I think it was his own business, and he wrote, like, some
review. Was it
no
review?
It was this guy, you know, that chalk where you use for, like, hopscotch and stuff.
Oh yeah.
He wrote a bunch of he himself went out there and wrote a bunch of like racial, slurs and racial like stuff in his own driveway of his business, and then try to go to the media and say that, oh, these racists did it, when it ended up being him and he was caught on camera doing it. And I was like, what the hell, you moron?
It's, you look at history, right? And there have been huge movements and, Civil Rights Act, for one, just off the bat. And then it's like, I genuinely feel like this generation, this decade is just, we're so pampered. We're so privileged. We're so comfortable that we can't find a purpose. So we're trying to make up a purpose.
That's exactly what they're trying to do. They're trying to mark their legacy. And they're going to look back at this and just be like, oh yeah, BLM, it ranks up there with the civil rights movement. No, it fucking doesn't.
It doesn't.
Sorry, I'm cussing. But I was like BLM enrages me. Like, it really brings out the, like, I see red whenever I see or whenever I hear or see BLM. It makes me mad. It makes me, so I just, like, these people, this whole BLM movement that is, very prevalent right now. And there's a machine, definitely. They have the machine behind them. Yes. And here's how I look at it. Whenever you have a corporation behind you, or whenever you have corporations behind you,
mainstream
media. That's not good.
No.
That's not good. No. That means that your movement has lost its way.
If you have mainstream media and major corporations like NFL, NBA, you name it, who isn't on the list, you are not the rebellion.
Yeah, you're not the rebel that you think. You're not the revolutionary that you think you are.
You are not the revolutionary that you think you are.
Definitely not. And
you are just grifting.
Yeah.
And I think it's a combination of two things. There's an opportunity to grift, as well as so they can bank off this, as well as usher, as well as they can any attempt to usher in Marxism, which they've fully claimed.
You know what I call it? Race pimping. That's what they're doing.
It's true.
Race pimping.
Yep.
Al Sharpton perfected it, and it looks like these people who are with the BLM movement, the leaders of the BLM movement, seems like they're, perfecting it too. Because, man, what is it? Over $1 million home in LA, and they got 4 other properties, and it's like
looking at multi-million-dollar properties, I believe, in the Caribbean.
This is how you can tell it's a grift, because if it wasn't a grift, why are you trying your hardest to live by the people you say are oppressing you?
Right. Why aren't you
rich, high, elitist white people?
Yeah.
You're trying your hardest to live by them.
Yep.
But they are why are you trying to live by your enemy? It makes no sense.
It does make sense, because
speaking from the perspective
of, it's a safer community.
Yeah, but speaking from a perspective of a person who is definitely against, the system. They're against white people. They're against, they're pretty much black supremacists.
Mm-hmm. Not pretty much. They are black supremacists.
They are black supremacists. So why are you trying your hardest to live around your enemy? It doesn't make sense.
Why aren't you moving into these black communities and help building them up?
Exactly.
Why are you removing yourself from the situation if you're so passionate about it? Because they're frauds. 100% frauds. Goddamn.
Whatever. Anyway, well, I think that'll about wrap it up.
Yeah.
Anything else to add?
No.
Any last words?
Not really.
Last thoughts?
I think we pretty much covered all of it. Other than, there actually is one quick one that I thought about earlier. I feel like mainstream media, quick thought, they recently posted an article about police prepping for more riots, and nobody knew why. There is no indication of anything happening, but mainstream media, F you, because you're pushing this, because you need ratings, because Trump is gone now.
Mm-hmm.
You need things to talk about. So they're also a big proponent of this.
Yeah. They need a boogeyman.
They need a boogeyman.
The police, unfortunately, are going to be their boogeyman.
Yep. So that was just a thought. But I'm sure we'll probably have another video about this as details emerge.
Well, my final thought is people need to start being civilized.
Yes.
Look at the facts. Look at the story. Look at the facts before you run out there and hurt an innocent person.
Yes.
I'm sick and tired of seeing incidents like this. It just boggles my mind. And even after the facts are out, people still act stupid. An example, and I don't mean to drag this on, but look at the Jacob Blake incident.
Yes.
This guy was 100% in the wrong. And it was determined that this guy was justifiably shot.
Yep.
And we still have people running around saying his name as if he's some kind of martyr. That's the thing that really pisses me off, is that even when they do have the facts, they still do stupid stuff. And they still act as if these so-called martyrs were in the right. Mm-hmm. And their reaction to it, whether it be looting, whether it be assaulting other people, hurting other people's business, or tearing down other people's businesses, or even killing, is just something that enrages me. So I just need people to just take a step back, be civilized, be a human being, wait for the facts, and then maybe react after that.
Yes.
So
if it's justified.
Yes. So those were my final thoughts. That'll about wrap it up for tonight. I hope you guys enjoyed the podcast. Hope you guys had a great weekend. I am Burning Spear Patriot signing off, and
I'm Libby Patriot. Thank you so much for joining us.
Good night.
Good night.